Alright guys, so this is the second video. We'll follow the first video that we tackled. So before I start, I just want to emphasize the importance of what we are discussing. So basically, this topics is the fundamentals and of the web application, and this will never change. So these are the principles on how we use our everyday application. So it's like the power or electricity that powers today's businesses. So we will tackle the static and dynamic web pages, websites, and web applications because those three are different. The web pages, website, and web application, and then the design and database related to dynamic website, and then introduction to HTTP and HTTPS CRUD operations. And then fourth is the browser developer tools and integrated development environment. So first, we'll start with the principle of static web pages. So some of you guys gave me a feedback that I need to smile on the camera. Now I'm smiling, guys. So you have to listen because this is Professor Garrett. just kidding. So the principle of static web pages is basically it's just a static. So this is like a website that doesn't move. So I'll give you an example. I think that's one of the best way um, to see this. So because I'm one of the reasons I'm doing this is because I see a lot of like people that do not really see the full picture on how the basic of web application works. So even though we use that every day, we don't really know the details of on how it works out in the background, right? So this is like an example of a static web pages. So I created this. So yeah, yeah. So basically, it this is just a static page and it doesn't move. So basically, you there's no form that you can input something just like this. This up. You can put your name, the title, the author. So there's no delete button, there's no edit. It's just a static page. You cannot really do anything about it. Basically, it's the server transfer this static file, and it's not a dynamic page. So the second topic would be the principle of dynamic web pages. So this an example of dynamic web pages is something that does not depend uh, on the static page. So the data that you see, it depends on user input. For example, if I put a blog post here, full stop up, the page or the app basically dynamically change. So it does not depend on what your initial input on the app, just like this static web page. Here, there's no option to change something. It's just like this whenever you go to that site. So that's a dynamic website. And then I think one of the best way to understand this is again it's a restaurant. So the database and the backend. Here's the database, and this is the backend. This is the chef. So and this is the chef and the kitchen, and this front end is the customer. So I'll show you guys. I think one. It's also great to have visual of chef at the kitchen and to and customer. Yeah, I think this is good enough to understand it. So that is the chef metaphor for this backend and database. So the customer like send requests to the chef, and then the waiter delivers it to the customer. So So I want to emphasize this system design because like when I started learning website application, no one really told me that there's this high level view of how the web application work, because I can't really visualize how the website respond, right? It's like magic. So you see on the screen, like, it's a colorful, and you don't really, it's like unfathomable, uh, hindi ma hindi may paliwanag, um, of our just visual. So this is the system design so of my blogging website. So this is the front end, and then this is the back end. So basically, a dynamic website usually has a database. So that database has the customer's data. So that data dynamically change. It doesn't. You cannot. It's unpredictable. You cannot control what. Sometimes, most of the time, you cannot control what the customer will input or will order to the chef, right? So the chef, I mean, this system stand on its own. So if someone go to my website and just delete all my blog posts, I cannot really do something about it. So later we will discuss about the security. So that's the system design and the database related to dynamic website, and introduction to HTTP or HTTPS CRUD operations. So CRUD operation is basically create, read, update, and delete. So that's the database usually works. I think some of you heard about this before, this CRUD operation. So this is actually what it is. So I'll show you how it actually worked on my blogging website. So the CRUD operation, when you go to developer tools using Control Shift I, you'll see the console and the network tab. So here in console, you'll be able to see the CRUD operations that you request using HTTPS. So when I reload this, you'll see that it returned the application returned all these files, right? So that's a read operation, uh, and then the create is update is when we post something. So you'll see there, guys, if I update, there's a post. So that's a post on the website, and now I'm able to see the blog that I created. So that's the introduction to CRUD operation, but later and in the next videos, we will discuss more about the HTTP and HTTPS CRUD operations. So browser developer tools, this is it. browser developer tools for Chrome, and integrated development environment. So integrated development environment here, this is Visual Studio Code. So here's the code of the blogging website that I created. So you'll see there the edit post button. So this is that feature. So I just implemented it earlier. Delete post button. So I have a front end and the back end. So yeah, that's the structure, the folder structure of my blogging website. So yeah, Visual Studio Code, you can install this, guys. You can just search that, and then you'll be able to download the latest. There's a lot of no ones on this. Obviously, I just um, made it simple because I think uh, it's really not that hard if you know the higher level overview, which no one told me when I'm starting to learn web development. So, yeah.